Tonight, police arrest and charge a man and a boy over this brawl in a Port Augusta car park. And the Crystal Brook Footy Club launches a women's league in a bid to get more stars on the national stage.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. The Port Augusta community has swamped Facebook in disgust at the posting of a video of an assault near a local oval yesterday. A man and a teenage boy have been charged over the assault of another teenager known to them. Southern Cross News warns that some viewers may find this story distressing.
An empty car park and an attack on a teenage boy.
Tell him to leave me alone then.
This video of the incident shows a man and a boy confronting the teenage boy at around 11 a.m. yesterday. The video was later uploaded to social media and very soon had attracted more than 20,000 views. Port Augusta police were later alerted to the incident and have since arrested the man and the boy.
45-year-old male from Port Augusta and a 14-year-old boy from Stirling North allegedly assaulted a youth, both known to the suspect.
The young male victim was able to get up and walk away.
The victim did not sustain any serious injuries as a result of the assault.
While circumstances of the assault are not yet known, police are urging any witnesses to come forward.
As police want to follow up on incidents like this that are happening, and that can only be done with the public making reports to police.
They're urging anyone who might witness violence similar to this incident to always report to police.
Straight away, call police, call 000 in the case of the assaults occurring at the time. For non-urgent police assistance, 131 444. But definitely call police straight away.
Both the man and the boy have been charged with aggravated assault and have been bailed to appear in court at a later date. Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Drivers and passengers on board small boats must now wear life jackets at all times as part of a bid to improve water safety. The new regulations come less than a week after 4 people were rescued without life jackets after their boat capsized off the York Peninsula.
Life jackets are designed to save lives, but not everyone buckles up. Last week, a small fishing boat off Port Hughes capsized. Shockingly, none of those on board were wearing life jackets. Against the odds, everyone survived. It's these type of situations that new regulations will now force occupants of small boats to strap on a life vest at all times.
People have had to have life jackets on their vessels, but when you get into trouble, it's often quick and it's unexpected.
The new laws require everyone to wear mandatory life jackets on small motorboats under 4.8 metres in length.
If by instituting these laws, we can save just a few people's lives. That is just a fantastic outcome.
Mandatory life jackets will also apply to children under the age of 12 on board larger vessels. New regulations will also be enforced for paddleboarders this summer who are more than 400 metres offshore.
We've got school holidays coming up, the weather's turning nice and warm, so it's a great time to be out on the water. We just want to be safe while you're out there having fun.
The new laws came into effect on December 1st, but there will be a grace period before hefty fees will apply. Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Agricultural equipment worth thousands of dollars has been stolen from outside a Kadina business. Between 6 and 6:30 on Thursday morning, a Topcon GPS system, machine belts and a welding oxygen gauge was taken from outside the Goldsworthy Street business after being left there by a courier. Anyone with information on the stolen goods is asked to come forward. Crystal Brook Football Club's following in the footsteps of the AFL and is now setting up its own all-female football league. The competition set to kick off early next year in a bid to get more local talent on the national stage.
The dream of playing competitive football could soon be a reality for women across the region.
And what we're trying to do here in the northern areas is get a carnival up and running.
A 4-week competition where, we have 4 teams in the comp. They'll play one another once, and then they'll be able to have a final game on the last week of the carnival.
I think it's a great opportunity for the women to give it a crack. I reckon usually girls don't get to go out and play a boys' sport, but it seems to be taking over a little bit, and it's good.
Keen footy fans from right across the region will be able to take part.
Piri, maybe Port Augusta, Also down the Peninsula Way with Wallaroo, Kadinga and those areas as well, being able to provide teams.
The carnival will cater for all ages.
Under 16s down to 12 years of age, and then a senior into over 16 up into the senior ranks as well.
The league hopes it'll allow women to put a boot in the door in a bid to compete in women's footy at a higher level.
You can get selected to actually play for your league club in Adelaide, which is the North Adelaide Football Club, and play in the Sandford League as well.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
After the break, the international exhibition set to feature Port Pirie. The details next. The local member for Flinders is calling for a review of an overhaul of the marine fishing industry in South Australia. He says it comes amid growing concerns about the depletion of stocks in recent times.
It's the vital industry that keeps the local economy afloat, but there are fears about its future.
We took evidence from both commercial fishers and also recreational fishers, and time again it was highlighted their concerns about the sustainability of the resource.
Local MP Peter Chalor is calling for an overhaul of the marine fishery, which takes in both commercial and recreational fishing.
There are a few issues that the commercial sector have around transferability of licences, about the number of licences, about the costs imposed on them by government.
Local anglers say there are growing fears in the industry.
Their fees are certainly continuing to rise, but it's also the spin-off of the fishing is getting harder for the guys. It's not what it used to be, so they're putting in longer hours, longer days, just to make ends meet.
The review would put data on the growing number of recreational anglers and the impact they have on fish stocks and commercial sector under the microscope.
It still seems quite unregulated. We don't really know the exact number of recreational fishers that we have in the region or how many actually do visit the region.
You can't regulate something unless you can measure it, and it's been really a challenge, I guess, to get good, reliable and solid data from the recreational sector.
Fishing industry relies on the management of the stocks.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Mining company Carpinteria says it's full steam ahead for its flagship project near Broken Hill. The managing director says 2017 has been a great year for the company and hopes 2018 yields the same results.
A successful pre-feasibility study and immense international interest for an iron project, Carpinteria Resources has exceeded expectations this year.
We've positioned the project very, very well, and we're expecting a fantastic 2018.
With a net present value of around $1.4 billion and the best iron ore product on the planet, steel makers and pellet producers have been lining up.
I've just come back from China and the Middle East, where we've seen a surge in support for the project, with steel mills and traders seeking to secure offtake of the world's best iron ore product and also assist the project development.
2018 will see Carpinteria push on with further studies and test work for the Horsens Iron project, with the aim to start construction in 2019.
So our next step is to raise the money for the feasibility study and the approvals process.
Over 1,000 jobs will be created during the construction phase, a further 500 during the operation phase.
That has the potential to transform Broken Hill for the next 20 or 30 or even longer, 20 or 30 years or even longer.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Port Pirie's unique culture and architecture is set to take pride of place in an international travel photography exhibition. The display will travel to the Mid-North next year, putting the region on the world stage.
The International Travel Photography Society Festival's coming to Port Pirie.
It's an exhibition of 60 international photographs across 10 categories, which we've been lucky enough to secure for October next year here in Port Pirie.
Travel photographer Essen Qureshi saw the photography opportunities regional South Australia has to offer.
I like Port Pirie a lot because, it's have a culture, architecture is beautiful.
The Southern Flinders Ranges and Port Pirie are a great location for photographing wildlife, buildings, heritage, showcasing the landscape.
He'll be around town over the coming months capturing images of historic Port Pirie, contrasting them with new developments across town.
I will cover all the ancient old buildings.
The festival will be showcased in Kuala Lumpur before travelling to Australia, where it will be exclusively shown here at the Port Pirie Regional Art Gallery.
Come See Change campaign, and this will be an opportunity for people to come along and actually physically see what has changed.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, we look back at the year that was for the city of Whyalla. John Hunt sits down with the town's mayor. That's next. Welcome back to local sport now, and there's been an incredible comeback in Port Pirie Major League Baseball. Patrick Reinke joins us now, and the Tigers had it all to do in their game against the Cats, Pat.
Yeah, Fraser, it was a fairy tale comeback for the Tigers in the recent round of Port Pirie Baseball. Down 4 runs to 0 and facing a lopsided defeat, the Tigers scored 6 runs in their final innings to record a very special victory. No doubt the Cats will seek revenge the next time those teams meet. In the minor games, Cats White got over their rivals Cats Blue 8 runs to 3, and Tigers secured an easy win over Panthers. To Whyalla Baseball now, and there was a cracking game in the B grade, with Roadrunners and Indians both having great nights at the bat. Nothing could split them at the end of play, 10 runs to 10 runs. But Roadrunners got the bragging rights in the A grade, beating Indians by 1. To Broken Hill Tennis now, and Slashers took out the Division 1 Championship with a solid performance over Mac Black. My side, Top Spins, managed to beat Nathan Crabb and Peter Clark from backhands 3-1 to win the Open A prelim final and meet Corey Pascoe and Hamish Inglis in Thursday night's grand final. To Whyalla softball for a moment, and Roadrunners absolutely thumped Indians 18-1, and Eagles also had an easy victory over Tigers. Some basketball to finish off now, and in Port Pirie, Tomcats couldn't do enough to beat Pacers, and Globetrotters' 2-point win over Ducks now puts them at second on the ladder. In Whyalla, Wildcats showed their dominance over Rupina in a top-of-the-table clash, while Demons had next to no problem dispatching Bevan. And last but not least, in Port Lincoln, Peggers Yellow blitzed past Lincoln South Blue, Sharks prevailed over Lincoln South's Yellow, and Rangers White trounced Peggers Green. So, Fraser, still plenty of local sport happening as Christmas gets closer and closer. And a quick reminder that if you want your sports results on Southern Cross News, send them through to localsport@sca.com.au.
Good on you, Pat. Patrick Reinke in Broken Hill there. Well, time now for our series of year-in reviews, and tonight we focus on Whyalla. It's certainly been a mixed year for 2017 for the city, with the uncertain future of the steelworks giving way to new opportunities. John Hunt sat down with Mayor Lynn Brewer.
Lynn, welcome to Southern Cross News. Thanks for taking the time to look back on 2017.
Thank you, John. It's good to be here.
It's fair to say 2017 was a mixed bag for Whyalla, wasn't it?
We've gone from really, the bottom of the barrel to being quite well placed now and on top of it all. We've turned the corner. I think it's been an amazing year for Whyalla, and what a lot of lessons we've learnt. It's been very, very difficult, but also it's been, fantastic, some of the news that's coming out now.
The dominant issue obviously has been the future of the Whyalla Steelworks. We turned into 2017 with a lot of uncertainty. By the end of the year, it seems the mood's changed, the confidence is back up, and there seems to be a clear future for the Steelworks.
Certainly there seems to be. I think with the arrival of Liberty, Mr Gupta, that turned the corner for us, of course. This time last year, I wouldn't have believed that the news could be so good for us. But if everything eventuates that has been promised, then certainly our future is very, very strong. I'm looking forward to working with him. He's spoken to me and said, I want this to be a community where people want to come and live and stay and raise their children, not fly in, fly out. That's excellent news for us because, we could have had somebody to come in and just wanted to make money.
The Whyalla Steelworks has certainly dominated what's happened in Whyalla, but there's been a few little things on the side that have not got the attention they deserve, like the Unearth Festival, for example. It's become an award winner and become a big part of Whyalla.
Look, the Unearth Festival was a turning point, I think, for us this year because we became a community again. There'd been a lot of angst out there, certainly a lot of worry that was going on, but I think the Unearth Festival turned the corner for us because we realised we were still a strong community, we could still work together. And the 2 days that occurred, we had over 10,000 people come along over the 2 days. It was an amazing thing to happen at Easter time when a lot of people are away.
How does the future look? What's 2018 looking like for Whyalla? I'm sure it's going to be an exciting time.
Look, I think we're going to have some new industries come here, or new companies come here, which are going to be very good. Can't tell you about them at this stage, but watch this space. We're going to, of course, forge ahead with the steel industry. That's going to take off. We've got our new jetty plans happening, so we're hoping that will be able to get well on its way during the next year. The announcement of the new school, that's a very big plus for us because education is an area I think that we can really get into in Whyalla.
The one thing I take from this year and from last year and during this RM crisis is the resilience of the town. I mean, it's got a backbone of steel, doesn't it?
We have always managed in Whyalla. We are a very resilient town. We've been through these crises before, but I've always said we're a community that will go and say, we've got a problem, how can we solve it? We'll ask the government to come in and help us. We got to a little bit of a point there in the last 15, 18 months where it was like, we've got a problem, help. But I think we've risen above that again now, and we'll get back to our old selves.
And how does Christmas look for you and your family this year, Lynn?
Well, I think like most people, Christmas is about family. It's time to rest, relax, put it all behind you, get together, have a laugh, have a fight, have a feed. You know, it's a wonderful time of the year.
Lynn, thank you very much for joining us. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you next year in 2018.
Thank you, John, and Merry Christmas to you and to everybody out there.
Well, stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the local weather details with Abby, and the heat is here to stay, Abby.
Yes, it is, Fraser. If you think today was hot, brace yourself for tomorrow. I'll have all the details next. Welcome back. Taking a look at the weather now. Well, summer has well and truly hit the region. It was a scorcher in Port Augusta, 40 the top today. Temps hit the high 30s in Whyalla, Broken Hill, Port Pirie and Adelaide. And it was slightly cooler but still warm to the west, with Port Lincoln reaching a max of 32 degrees. To the satellite now, and high cloud over western parts of South Australia is due to a low pressure trough further east. Skies are clearer elsewhere under a ridge of high pressure. Well, it's certainly a good day to head out on the water tomorrow. We'll see northeasterly shifting southeasterly winds up to 15 knots, seas at a metre with a south-southwesterly swell, and sunrise is just after 6 a.m. and sunsets at 24 past 8. And crank up the air conditioning because the heat is going to hit hardest tomorrow. Port Augusta is going to cop a 42-degree day, the same for Corn. A scorcher in Whyalla and Woodner, heading for a top of 39 degrees, even warmer in Port Pirie, 40 the top there, and most other centres will see the mercury rise into the high 30s, except in the west. Port Lincoln heading for a lovely 30-degree day, and cooler in Coffin Bay, 28 the top. But the good news is this sweltering heat won't stay around for long, with a cool change to see a big drop in temperatures towards the end of the week. There's a chance of showers for Port Lincoln tomorrow before temps dip to the low 20s for Thursday, Friday and Saturday. After a scorcher in Cleve tomorrow, it will cool right down on Thursday before temps steadily rise again. A lovely, fine 27-degree day is forecast for Saturday, and a similar story for Woodner, with temps to creep back into the 30s by the weekend. Further up the Gulf, it's going to be windy and hot tomorrow before some relief by Thursday. It'll hit 39 degrees in Whyalla tomorrow before temps drop down into the mid to high 20s for the end of the week. And as mentioned, Port Augusta will sizzle tomorrow, but temps will cool down quite a lot. 27 the top for Thursday, and temps in the low 30s for Friday and Saturday. And a hot 37 in Kadina tomorrow before some lovely fine conditions. Finally, windy and hot for Port Pirie and Clare tomorrow before temps drop down into the 20s, but we will see the mercury rise steadily into the weekend. And Broken Hill's in for a scorching 41-degree day tomorrow, but temps will be hot for the rest of the week, 36 the top there. So, Fraser, after some sweltering conditions, relief is on its way by Thursday.
Thanks, Abby, and that's Southern Cross News for this Tuesday. Thanks for your company. Now here's some lights from Whyalla. Good night.